Okay, so welcome everybody. I think uh, our last few sessions about organizing your photographs in Lightroom and basic editing. Uh, I see that a lot of you are using some of the things that we learned in the past few weeks. And one of the common question which I think I'm getting again and again is about understanding hue, saturation, and luminance in a little better way. I can understand this is at times confusing in terms of what these terms are and what exactly happens when we play with these sliders in these three sections. And I'm primarily talking about this section, which is HSL color section in Lightroom. By the way, these terms are pretty standard, doesn't really matter you're using Lightroom, Photoshop, or any other photo editing tool. In fact, the terms are same in video editing tools as well. So let's try to understand what exactly these terms are and how they impact colors of the photograph. And apart from colors, do they impact any other things? So let's try to understand through a basic example. So here on, I would request you to apply your imagination a little, because the example I'm going to share has nothing to do with what you are seeing on the screen. So imagine you put a transparent jar half filled with water in a room which is completely white, and you have small sachets of different colors, which means same quantity of red, yellow, green, blue, you name it, and all those sachets are available with you. Now, what you do is you add, say, one sachet of color red into this water. Now you see a particular shade of red in that water, in that lighting condition. So lighting condition, amount of water, and amount of color you added defines how you see that color at that moment, right? And if you add another sachet of red into that water, that will essentially saturate that red further, which means you'll see a rich red color in that water. And now the differentiation, when I say saturation word, is same color is being added or subtracted from same element. So by saturation means you increase the intensity of same color, and you can, similar way, you can decrease the saturation by adding more water into it. Instead of adding another sachet of red color, you can add more water into that jar, and then you'll see that red will be lighter. Now pay attention to the words I'm using right now. I'm saying red becomes intense or red becomes lighter. These are basically saturation ranges of red color. But other thing which is changing with color is light on that subject. It automatic. So anytime, I think this is something that I repeat in most of my workshops and these videos, is that one slider you touch in any of these photo editing tools, that doesn't only change one thing but multiple things. When you change contrast, it doesn't only change contrast, it'll impact colors of your photographs as well. So 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 as I said, if you change saturation of your photograph, lighting will automatically be changed in that subject. Let's understand what hue is. Now, going back to the situation where we had a jar of water half filled with water, and we put one sachet of red color into it. Now, put half sachet of yellow into it, or put half sachet of, say, any other color into it. That will give you another hue of red. What does it mean? It means that base color is red, but you mixed something else, which is giving another shade of that color. It may be orange, it may be pinkish, depending upon what you are mixing into red. And by the way, that can be used for any other color as well, in the sense there are hues of yellow, there are hues of orange, and so on. What is luminance? So now if we go to same example, a jar half filled with water and 1 sachet of red added to it. Now you don't add or subtract any color from this jar. You don't even add water into it, but you add same light color, same white light, few extra lights into the room, which will illuminate this subject a little more, and you'll feel like, okay, my color has desaturated a little. But that's essentially luminance, which is playing a role to show you different colors of same subject. If you reduce the light, it'll act in the same way. If you reduce the light, then you will feel that, okay, the color of the water has saturated a bit more. If color of the light will also change, then you may see change in hue as well. Hope this example will help you understand difference between hue, saturation, and luminance. At a broader level, all these three are used to adjust specific colors in your photographs, but you will notice that each control gives you different, I would say, a range of variation in colors that you can achieve in a photograph. Let's try to see a few things in this photograph. So now it starts first by recognizing which are the primary colors and where do they reside in your photograph. Now in this photograph, if you look at this monk kind of, I would say, it's not a monk, I know that, but it looks like monk. A lot of people who have seen this photograph feel like it's a monk, and there is this pigeon flying in front of a walking by monk, but let's assume it's monk. And the cloth color here is orange. So let's say that we want to play with this orange color right now. Let's see what will happen when you play with hue, saturation, and luminance for orange. So orange is your second slider in Lightroom, and if I move it towards right, left, your orange shades in the photograph are becoming pinkish, and if I move it towards right, it's becoming yellow and then a little green yellow kind of shade. If you notice, nothing is happening to the pigeon in this photograph, because there's hardly any orange. There is some part of orange in the wings part, but not very prominent. So you'll see more changes in the background, in this pillar and this person when I'm playing with orange. I'm not changing anything in terms of hue. Let's go to saturation. Now, if I move it to the left, it'll desaturate, which means it'll lower down the intensity of orange. And if you go to the extreme, it may make it close to black and white. Some of the object, like pillar, if you see in this photograph, it's becoming black and white. If I move it towards right, it'll sort of make this orange richer. So that's simply saturation. I think easiest amongst these three to understand. Luminance. Now let's see what happens in luminance. If I increase the luminance, you can certainly see that brightness of orange objects in this photograph is increasing, but at the same time, color is also changing, right? If you notice, by the way, even lighting was changing in other controls as well, but that was not prominent. That's the fundamental difference. Hope this example will help you understand the fundamental difference between hue, saturation, and luminance. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out and comment it under this video, and we'll try to respond back to you with the relevant details. So thank you.